Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Fest Online 2021. Not really much of a fest in my eyes, more basically 5 previews. It came, we saw, and it went again, and I think there were some very standout moments from this particular set of previews. Now, the actual fest, I keep saying fest, I don't think it deserves to be called a fest, because when you go down to a Warhammer Fest proper over the couple of days it's open, you get to meet the designers, meet the team behind the scenes, get to see some of the creations, get to flick through some of the design documents and the sketchbooks and really understand the process of how these models are built, how the games are made, the entire backstory, which is really interesting. I think if they had more of that kind of thing in these previews, actual interviews with designers, showing off some of the sketches, some of the concept art, the evolution of how these models go from like the conception stage into reality, all that kind of thing would be interesting. They could have reached out to the community, to creators in the community to show off mods, paint jobs. They could have done a whole lot more, but basically what they chose to do was essentially advertise their own product, which is fine. It's their channel, it's what they do, but I think they could have done a whole lot more. That being said, there were some excellent standout moments from this particular set reveals. There are also some missed opportunities and also some big whiffs in my opinion, but we'll break it down. Like I said, this will be a completely itemized list of every single thing that was revealed or every single thing that was shown off, just the things that really caught my eye and I want to talk about. So just sit back, chill out, and we'll start with the good. The out and out quote unquote winner, if you want to have winners and losers of this particular set of reveals, definitely Age of Sigmar. With the announcement of Age of Sigmar 3.0, I think it's just going to be a big win for the boys and girls who like to play in the Broken Realms. And to show off, they've had some really good models. Starting off with the ones that aren't my particular favourite, but I could definitely see people like appreciating them. We've got some new Stormcast Eternals. And the Annihilator with the Meteoric Hammer is a chunky boy / girl. Someone tell me, please, down in the comments, tell me how Stormcast Eternals work, because I'm under the impression that they're living armor. Like I say, I don't know. I've not got into the lore, but I've seen actual people in the armor. So what is it? Are they alive inside it? Is the armor alive? I'm not too sure. But this is one chunky individual. Definitely be here in the gym. Lots of detail on that. The regular Stormcasters, I think the Annihilators. No, this is the Annihilator. The reforged ones, the ones with the spears and the shields. I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. I could take them or leave them. But the Annihilator armor looks really good. From my perspective, like I say, me, Jamie, Chris, we're into our 40k. I could see quite a lot of people maybe doing some conversion work with this. If you're handy with a file and you want to make a really big space bro, fill your boots. Not the only thing though. We've also got Ysandra, the Celestial Spear. Oh no, I've butchered that name again. Yndrasta? The Celestial Spear. I'm just going to call her the Celestial Spear. Listen, as far as angelic saviors from the sky goes, yep, she looks pretty badass. I like how, with the particular paint job they showed off, it's not bright gold. It's sort of like diminished, like worn out over time. Like the gold's lost a lot of its shimmer. That's not so much the model, that's more the paint job, but it's something I really appreciate. Again, lots and lots of detail on this. I think they're really like leaning into the angelic hosts with the Age of Sigmar stuff, particularly with the Sigmar range. With their main characters, they give off like the very, in my opinion anyway, a very biblical sort of angelic host look, which I suppose is what they're really going for. But obviously, you know, with the odd thunderbolt splashed in for good effect. But she is an amazing model. Again, conversion purposes, you could do a lot if you feel like dropping that amount of money just to get bits. I'm sure Blood Angels players would love to get hands on those wings for their chapter masters. That'd be really good conversion work right there. Now, the Age of Sigmar stuff, it's all well and good, but if I had to pitch my tent in one of the Age of Sigmar realms, if I had to pledge my allegiance to one of the armies, the Soul Blight Gravelords have definitely hands down, won my heart. You know, it's really, I think it'd be really easy to fuck up vampires. Honestly, I do. I prefer my vampires to be more oozing evil, Bram Stoker sort of thing. But at the very beginning of the film, when he's sort of like that wizened, horrible old creepy man, rather than near the end of it where he turns into like the regal gentleman just to blend in with society, I don't think vampires should do that. I think they should be arrogant enough that they don't have to blend into society because, you know, they're the leaders. Why would they blend in with the herd or the cattle as they see them? And the Mother of Nightmares just is a absolute fantastic model. I cannot rave about her. I'm not sure enough. She is oozing. That is evil. It is evil. That's an evil vampire right there, and I absolutely love it. The entire Soulblight range, as far as I'm concerned, is a triumph because I can remember when I first started playing 40k, and I used to go down to Games Workshop, my local Games Workshop, go in there. I'd always, most of the time, a lot of the time, I'd find myself idly flicking through the old school Vampire Counts Codex for Warhammer Fantasy, and I love me some vampires. Am I gutted that there wasn't like a reborn version of Vlad von Carstein? A little bit, yeah. But let's face it, I don't collect Age of Sigmar, so I think a lot of people might have moved on a lot since then. Fair play. But Soulblight Gravelords, the Mother of Nightmares, the entirety of that range that was revealed in the Warhammer Fest on, I think it was Monday's preview, was absolutely fantastic. Now, if we move away from the mortal realms into the grim dark of the far future, we got ourselves some orcs. Yes, God, orcs just make everyone happy. I think orcs are the kind of army and the kind of people that play orcs. They just want to have fun. They just want to have fun and smash things up and have a good old time. And we got some beast snaggers. Now, these were teased a while ago, cave paintings. We've had little trickles, but now we can see the entire. Well, I don't think this is the entirety of the beast snaggers. I think we're still going to have a war boss. And the reason I say that is because I can remember when they first teased these with the cave painting, I could swear I thought I saw a really humongous orc with like half a squig skull as a shoulder pad. And I thought that was going to be like the big war boss of the beast snaggers, which would make sense. But what they've shown off is excellent. These orcs are bigger, they're harder, and they're more orky than regular orcs. I mean, they've got cyborg squigs that they ride into battle. Come on, guys, we're just trying to have fun here. It's just fantastic. I love how, even though these guys are meant to be like sort of shunning technology to an extent because they believe in the old ways of, you know, running after the biggest beasts and tackling the biggest, hardest things, they still incorporate a shit ton of cybernetics because obviously doing what they do, they get a lot of limbs ripped off. But these guys are so hard, they can just power through. I thought the Doc model released a while back was an excellent model as well. And you can see some of his handiwork in some of these models with the cybernetic arms, legs, you know, head plates just bolted on. I think, I can't remember what his name, the crazy dude with the crazy hair. That hair's bolted on. He has got that hair and bolted on just because he wanted some hair, and that is very orky. Everything about these releases is fantastic. That squig, one of them's not got any back legs. He's just got wheels. Because of course. Because why not? Orcs, I don't play orcs, but I would love to play against them. I think they just make everyone's life better by making some people's lives worse. I don't know. I think they just strike a particular tone in the mind of a 40k player. It's like, oh, it's the orcs. Oh, we're in for a good fight. And I think that's great. Funnily enough, it's not the Beast Snagger orcs themselves that were the standout winners as far as orcs go in this particular release. For me, it was got to be the War Boss Mega Armor. More of an old school orc, but god damn, he is a beefy unit. 2 hands for his big chopper, so he still wants to shoot stuff. Just get a Gretchen, nail a gun to the top of his armor, and just have that little guy just pumping shooter shots into people as he wades into battle. This guy wants to get up close and personal, and he wants to smash shit to pieces with that axe. They did say during the stream that there is more green skin stuff to come in the future for the orcs that prefer the technology, because the beast snaggers kind of don't. And I hope that this war boss is a sign of that sort of things to come. Do I think we're going to get a range refresh for orcs? No. Do I think we're going to get a few new orc models or reimagined orc models? I think, more than likely, yes. And if they are the same quality as this war boss, big, chunky, thick orc, yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for more orcs. We also got upgraded Cadian shock troops, which is nice. I mean, it was a kind of our left field. It's like, here's some orcs. Oh, and a little bit of Cadians on the side there. But it's a nice thing. Basically, they're selling sort of like an upgrade kit for your Cadians to give them more personality, heads and weapons. Not a complete redesign of the model. Like I say, it's just going to be, from the looks of it, the heads and the guns. But it's a kit that could have done with a bit more life being given into it. Given into it. That's not the right turn of phrase. But I think it's a long time coming, well deserved. There's a bit of detail on some of these new sculpts, like the sniper rifle there. It's got its kill count to the side of it, which is quite nice. A little bit of detail on the actual plasma gun there. I think what they said was at the beginning these will be an upgrade kit, but eventually they will sort of feed this into the standard kit for the Canadian shock troops, which is nice. We also got a little bit of a teaser for a Grey Knight Tzeentch Thousand Suns throwdown in the future. It's going to be a box set, and Castle and Crow was teased, so look forward to that. Grey Knight players, Sons of Titan and followers of Tzeentch down the line. Looks like a psychic storm is coming, if you're going to read that blurb right there. Now finally, for the last bit of good, I know I have I have rolled my eyes in the direction of Sisters quite a bit, because I think the release of their entire range has been drawn out a little bit too much. Like I say, my own personal opinion, don't play Sisters, so I've probably got no right to whinge or moan, but here I am. I think the release of their range has been drawn out a little bit. Now, whether that's because of things in the background at GW, which we might touch on in a bit, is they've had to draw things out to try and sort of fill in what otherwise would be empty space and, a void. But I think it's been drawn out a bit. But I think now it's over. I think everything Sisters have got, their entire range has been redone. And I think we've just seen the tail end of it, because they've announced the head honcho with Sisters, Morn Val, High Lord of Terror, fucking brand spanking new kick-ass armor, and that armor is badass. Oh yes. Insanely detailed, beautiful to look at. It just, it oozes Sisters. That is, that's the leader of the Sisters, alright. That spear is so insanely detailed, I can't get over it. And they've got their codex announced. I think that's it now for Sisters. This is it. You've had your entire range redone, top to bottom. Everything's been shown off, and I think you finished on a high note with more volume. Have you had some whiffs? Yeah, there's been one or two models in the Sisters range where I've looked down and been like, ugh, that is unfortunate. I think the one with the banner, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but her head is just weird. And I think one of the other ones, I can't remember the name of the unit. She had kind of a weird static pose I thought was a bit of a miss. Looked very old school GW sculpt rather than some of the new stuff they've been coming up with. But on the whole, a triumph for the Sisters range. I mean, I could take the piss all I want, but as far as from a design perspective, the entire range has been a huge success, a big hit, and I think they deserve it. And I think now would be a good juncture to move on for everyone. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time being released, but well done. The Morn Val is the icing on Sisters cake, and I think you guys and girls deserve it. Right, now that was the good. Let's look at the bad that this preview or Warhammer Fest delivered to us, and there is. I mean, people mentioned it in the Twitch chat, which I noticed when when obviously the previews are going live, there is some bad, and we've got to talk about it. And it's limited edition box sets are a scalper's wet dream. And when they said that the Beast Snaggers are going to become on a box set and it's going to be a limited run, every single scalper that had even a slight toe in like the Warhammer sort of pool jizzed themselves. It's bad because I know what's going to happen. The same thing that happened to Curse City, the same thing that happened to Adominus is going to happen to this Beast Snagger Orcs box. GW will hype it up, and GW will release it. It'll be gone in 5 minutes. Well, let's put a bet on it. I say within 5 minutes, this thing will be sold out online. Gone. I reckon that GW stores are going to get like 1 or 2 boxes in each. I reckon third-party stores are lucky if they're going to get 1. And I reckon scalpers are going to have a fucking field day with it. And it irritates me so much that GW insist on doing it this way. Now, I do not know what's going on in the background to GW. I don't know what's going on with the supply chain. I don't know what's going on with their factory situation. Because, surprise, surprise, they don't communicate shit with us. And we'll go into that when we get to the ugly part. But there has got to be a better way than doing these limited release box sets. I think the way to go should be just say, right guys, we're going to do these made to order. Get your orders in. We're going to give you a timetable and expect it within that timetable. That would give everyone who wants one of these boxes a chance to order it. It would absolutely kick the legs out from underneath the scalper market. And I think everyone would be happy just in general. You know, I was tempted just to like, because it winds me up so much. I was just going to say, you know what? Why don't a load of just like regular hobbyists buy a load of these boxes if they could afford it, and then just as a community just sell them back on eBay at just like the regular price, obviously including postage, just to stick it to the scalpers. But then I'm like, well, the scalpers are just going to buy it from you there and just like put the prices up. It's just, it shouldn't be an issue. If it has to get to the point where you're thinking to yourself as a community, right, what can we do to fix this? Then that is clearly a failing on GW's part. GW, stop making these limited order box sets. Or if you do, just make them so you can only pick them up from stores. It's a bit shitty for people who can't get stores. I get it, but the scalper issue is an issue. Anyone who's looked for Curse City, anyone who's looked for Indominus, anyone who's looked for any of the limited bullshit boxes that GW have done will know exactly how this is. Jamie's a prime example. Tried to get his hands on Indominus, gone. He wanted some of those Necrons. Luckily, he could split a box with somebody. A lot of people weren't so fortunate. Limited runs in this particular environment, not a good idea. Made to order or in-store pickup, it's got to be the case. It's like I say, I'm not qualified to talk about this. Well, I am sort of. I can talk about it, but I'm not qualified enough to think of a decent sort of fix that's going to make everyone happy. But it's just one of those things. We'll see when it comes out, but I'm expecting another scalper feeding frenzy on this one. Right, now for the ugly. The issue that won't stay dead. GW, when they had their boxed games day preview, had the perfect opportunity to finally put this entire Curse City debacle, and I think we can all agree right now that it is a fucking debacle. They could have put this entire thing to bed by sitting down and just saying, right guys, this is the state with Curse City. It wouldn't have put GW in a good light, but let's fucking face it, they've painted themselves in a bad light already by doing this in the first place. But they could have used this opportunity to put the entire conversation to bed. Are you going to continue it? Are you not going to continue it? What's the crack with Curse City? And you could tell in the chat, a lot of people were feeling the exact same way. And what I felt sorry for the two presenters. I can't remember the names off the top of my head now. Those guys obviously saw what was going on in the chat, but I bet they were under strict orders not to mention Curse City at all. And it is that kind of radio silence bullshit that really fucks me off about GW. The community for Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, the entire Warhammer community is an amazing community. Yeah, you get your fringe weirdos, but you get that in every community. The people that work inside GW, the designers, the painters, the people who make terrain, that make the rules, excellent. They're all passionate, love them. But there must be some people right at the top of this company who just make the fucking worst decisions. And it whiffs of a kind of arrogance. Like, oh, we don't have to explain anything to you guys. We can just like jangle some shiny miniatures in front of you and you'll forget all about it. Well, guess what, shitlips? I ain't fucking forgetting about it. And I think it shows a lot about how you really perceive your clients. That you can treat them with that kind of contempt. You had an opportunity to finally put this thing to bed. Box Games Day, Box Games Open Day, whatever you want to call it for Warhammer Fest. Yeah, I think that would have been a good day to fucking talk about Cursed City, or the fuck up that is Cursed City. But you chose radio silence again. GW recently have been showing their arse for me more and more, and I love the IP. I love 40k IP. Love it, love it, love it. But I cannot say that you can't trust GW. You can't trust them, no matter how much they want to pay. Again, this is my own personal opinion, and I'll close on this. For me, Cursed City is the perfect example of how you cannot trust GW. They will release a product, they will hype it up. From what I understand and the people I've been talking to who are in the know, they knew they couldn't support Cursed City 6 weeks before it was released. They knew, if that's true, that it would be released and then instantaneously discontinued. They still pushed it, they still hyped it, they still sold it, they still let scalpers go to fucking town on it. And look at where we are. People couldn't get it, people had to go to scalpers, people who got it thought they were going to get a box game that would be supported and expanded on like Blackstone Fortress, were left just pissing in the wind. And radio silence from GW. And that is, for me, the most annoying thing. They don't even have the bollocks. And I think that's what is the case at the moment, because I know full well that if they came on, explained how they fucked up, I imagine their share price would take a hit. Or it would have a negative impact on the business. But I think the goodwill that they garner from the community, the loving community that literally lives and breathes this stuff, would be worth a hell of a lot more than just what? Maybe upsetting 1 or 2 shareholders? Or is it shareholders? I'm not too sure. Upsetting someone upstairs would be upset, and I think it'll be worth a lot more garnering that respect back from the community than just upsetting 1 or 2 people who might be a bit influential. I don't know. The entire thing's a fuck up from start to finish, and they didn't talk about it, just ignored it, and that is telling. So we'll see in the future. Maybe I'm still of the opinion that Cursed City isn't gone, but again, at this point, who cares? Even if Cursed City wasn't gone and came back, I would definitely encourage people not to buy it, because they've shown their hand. They've shown that they will drop stuff and just leave the community in it. But this Beast Snagger box set that's coming out, don't go to scalpers, guys. I know how much you guys want these orcs. I can feel your pain, but you can't give money to these kind of people. But anyway, I'll end on that note. It's gone on long enough. Let me know what you guys thought of the entire Warhammer Fest 2021 down in the comment section below. What did you like about the festival? What didn't you like? What are your thoughts on certain things? Always interested to read your comments and hear your feedback. But until then, I will catch you all next time. See you later, guys.